Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the weird side of the internet. Muppets.
Hi all, this is Kermit the Frog, and I'm here to tell you the story about Emmett Otter's...
Ginger, no!
The Muppets. You know them, I know them, they're iconic. One of the most popular franchises of all time, the Muppets has had a lot of movies. Whether they be Christmas movies, or Halloween movies, or just movies about the Muppets just doing shit, this group of weirdos has stayed in the public eye for over 50 years. So that's why I watched them all. That's right, one night when I was bored, I sat my ass down and I watched every single Muppet movie ever made. Yes, that's including the DVD ones and the straight-to-TV ones, everything, okay? I watched every single Muppet piece of media I can get my grubby little hands on. And you know what? Nothing makes sense. Nothing in this franchise makes sense. And before you say, hey Jay, it's a comedy franchise. Nothing has to make sense. And you know what? You're right. Disclaimer here and now for everybody in the back. I understand that this franchise is not supposed to be taken seriously. But what's the fun in that? So, before the movies, we had the Muppet Show. This introduced the world to the characters and, kind of set up their antics and how they all worked.
Bring up 9/11. What's so confusing about that?
This is then further explored in the Muppet movie, released in 1979. The whole plot of this movie is us watching the Muppets and how they met. The whole point of the movie is that it's a movie.
We're here to heckle a Muppet movie.
Gentlemen, that's straight ahead. Private screening, room D.
Listen,
See, Kermit here, he was living in the swamp,
Fozzie.
and then a fisherman came along.
Fozzie, you can't tell him the whole story. You'll bore the audience.
So the Muppet movie in the universe is canonically a movie, meaning that this is the origin story, as it said, of the Muppet Show. So, there you go. Seems to be pretty simple so far. Everything makes sense, it all follows through nicely, it is a connected canon timeline. Everything adds up. Then The Great Muppet Caper came out. In this movie, Kermit and Fozzie are journalists.
Thank you, whoever you are.
My name is Kermit the Frog, and I've come all the way from America to interview you for the Daily Chronicle.
No mention of the Muppet Show. It doesn't exist. And now, Fozzie and Kermit are brothers?
We thought identical twins working on a newspaper would make an interesting story.
Well, it doesn't. Especially since you two guys don't look anything alike.
Well, that's because Fozzie's not wearing his hat. Fozzie, put your hat back on.
Oh, yes, sir.
See?
Ah, that makes sense. No, wait, no, I can't get fooled. No, this doesn't make sense. But hey, it's just one movie. Maybe they wanted to do like a Family Guy kind of Star Wars special where it's like not supposed to be canon to the story. Just have a little fun. That's fine. Okay, what's the next movie? So in this one, the Muppets are a college troupe who've known each other for God knows how long. Maybe as babies, maybe since they were kids, maybe they just met in college. I don't know. It's not what we learned in the original movie.
Wow, it's such a beautiful day.
You're overacting. You're hamming it up.
I am trying to save this movie.
Oh, yeah? We'll save your performance instead.
So, what is happening? Let's break this down. What is actually happening? Well, a popular fan theory online is that these two movies are just that. Movies. You know how in the first one we find out that the Muppet movie is a movie in the universe? Well, a lot of people come to believe that these two are also movies in the Muppet universe. They're just two other movies that the Muppets made starring them. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense. It fills up a lot of the plot holes, explains a lot of the inconsistencies, and it just kind of portrays them as just like fun little adventures where you don't have to think too hard. This is the way I think of it. I don't think it was ever confirmed by the Muppets company, but I'm pretty sure most people consider that to be the canon explanation for these. So I'm gonna stick with it. A Muppet's Christmas Carol also follows this mindset, as the characters in that movie are also portrayed by the Muppets characters, playing different people, of course. And, it seems like everything's trying to make sense. Until Muppet Treasure Island.
Hey, thank you. My name is Gonzo.
I'm sorry? I thought these were supposed to be... Okay, well, maybe everybody in this movie just called their actual names.
Piping aboard, Captain Abraham Smollett.
Huh? Oh, Jesus. Why is Gonzo called Gonzo, but Kermit is called Mr. fucking Blackbeard fucking Big Cock Man? What is happening?
Who hired this crew?
It's like if you watch the MCU and Iron Man was just called Robert Downey Jr. by everybody, yet Chris Evans is called Captain America. Like, why is Robert getting special treatment? Get on their playing field, Robert. And then we have Muppets in space. This movie doesn't really affect much. It's whatever. Kind of like the movie. There's also a few other movies that don't really matter as well that you can just kind of plop in this kind of area that mostly makes sense, like Kermit Swamp Years or Muppets Wizard of Oz. You know, those type of movies that mostly make sense as just either a movie or just a actual straight up flashback. And finally, the timeline is capped off in The Muppets. 2011. I know, it's a weird name. Oh yeah, our movie's called The Muppets. A lot of movies are called The Muppets in this franchise. Get in line. If you're a parent in 2011 sitting on your couch and your child goes, Mommy, I want to see The Muppets, what the fuck are you gonna think they're talking about? Not the movie. You think they're talking about the show or the plenty of other things. The Muppets doesn't give a good enough descriptor of what the movie's about. It's not just The Muppets, because if you want to put The Muppets as the basic descriptor of all the movies, it's all the movies. Hell, Kermit Swamp Years can technically be called The Muppets because it includes a Muppet in it. Multiple Muppets, actually. That movie's really weird, by the way. That movie's really, like, that movie has, like, implies that frogs in this universe are, like, still dissected, even though they can walk and talk. Like, how does that work? Is this why you guys watch my videos? Just for me to go insane like a mad scientist? Is this what you want from me? Is this what you want from me? I haven't close it done yet. All right, back to what I was saying. The Muppets 2011 movie. In this movie, Walter is a big fan of The Muppets Show. Not the movies, The Muppets Show. We see Walter check out iconic pieces of the Muppet lore from the shows, from the movies, from everything like that. He is a fan in the actual world of the Muppets.
Someday you'll find it, the Rainbow Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
And obviously, as I feel like most of my generation was introduced to the Muppets with this movie, it's a banger. You have, like, some of the best songs in the franchise, like Am I a Man or a Muppet? Am I a man or am I a Muppet?
Bazinga!
In which, finally, the movie ends with the Muppets getting back together and Walter joining them. It's a fantastic ending. Everything wraps up. The timeline makes sense. Roll credits.
Wow, that was so amazing!
You did a wonderful
job.
Do we get that?
Yeah, we did. We got
it.
Yep.
Movie's over, people. Go home. That is a wrap.
Okay, nice work.
What the fuck?
We're doing a sequel.
What do you mean we're making a sequel? This was a movie? That doesn't make sense. This was a movie about the Muppet Show. This was a movie acknowledging all the things that happened in the Muppet Show. What? You made a movie about the Muppet Show? That doesn't make sense. Why would you make a movie about the acting thing that you made about? That is like if Jimmy Kimmel made a movie about Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Hi there. This is editing AJ here. I just want to point out just a small little point I forgot to make in the video. I am not particularly focused on the fourth wall break itself because the Muppets makes so many fourth wall breaks. I'm mostly pointing out the fact that this is the first time really that they're just straight up looking you dead in the eye and saying everything you just watched was a movie. Beforehand it was more like jokes and small things that like are clearly just that, jokes. Like, it's kind of like with Deadpool, where, like, sure, he's looking at the audience and making jokes that he's in a movie, but, like, everybody around him is not following that same logic, you know? So, in-universe, it still makes sense. But in this scene, you literally watch as everything you experienced in the last movie is just, like, ripped down as a part of, like, a movie set. And I feel like people just don't talk about how crazy of a reveal that is. Anyways, my point's been made. I'll let you go back to the video now.
So what was real? Was Walter real? Was anything real? Are you telling me every single piece of media we've ever seen in the Muppets canon was a movie? Like, none of it was real. Like, nothing. We've never seen the Muppets genuinely. Is Kermit's real name even Kermit? We don't know. We've never seen real Kermit. Maybe his real name's Bernardo or something. We don't know. It could be Bernardo the show. We don't know anything about the timeline. The Muppets aren't real. They're actors. Hell, we don't even know if they're actually Muppets. They could legitimately be puppets. What is real in this timeline? Is there anything concrete? But then this asks another question. What is Muppets Most Wanted? Is this like The Office? Are the cameras just on while they're doing shit? Hell, actually, yes, because the 2015 ABC Muppets show implies that this is just like an Office parody while the characters are just actors. What about the humans in the movies? How does that work? Are they also actors playing themselves? In Muppets Wizard of Oz, Quentin Tarantino shows up.
And then, just as Dorothy and the Wicked Witch charge at each other, bam! Blowout fight scene. The gals whip out these huge samurai swords, and they just tear it up. I'm talking kung fu. I'm talking walking on walls. I'm talking explosions everywhere.
Like, you do not understand how convoluted and messed up this timeline is. Muppets Most Wanted is a movie about the Muppets. It's a sequel to a movie about Walter being a fan of the Muppets the show that have made movies. Meaning that Gonzo in Muppets Treasure Island is a character played by Gonzo. Played by Gonzo. Played by Gonzo. So, yeah. That's the timeline. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like it, subscribe, and click the little bell thing on top. I don't usually click it with videos I watch, but if you do, the Muppets timeline will make sense to you. Yeah, I know. Lucky you're right.
Hi-ho there, Kermit the Frog here.
Bad touch, stranger danger.
I'm starting to sweat.